Hello, welcome to the Happy Maltese Life. My name is Melita, and this is my doggie Chanel. We call her Nellie for short. So Chanel is a 3-year-old purebred Maltese. I've had her since she was 8 weeks old. She's my baby. And when I thought about starting this channel, I was thinking of channel ideas, and I read somewhere that it said you should focus on having a channel around something that you're obsessed with, something that you can talk about forever, and something you really enjoy. And so all of those things pointed to my baby Chanel. I love her to death. She's such a good girl. She's trained, but she still has some more training to do. But actually, I wanted to come on today because I cracked the code. There have been so many trials and so many challenges with having a Maltese, a white small dog like this, that I was a little frustrated when I first got her, and as she got older that first year. But there have been some things that I've discovered on how to better care for her, how to better support her, and how not to lose my mind or spend all my money trying to keep her clean and trying to keep her looking the way I think she should look. So there are a few things I do want to share around how to keep your dog white like this as far as preventing those tear stains. Now, you guys probably know what tear stains are if you're watching this. You either have a Maltese or a white dog, or you're interested in getting one. And it's those rust-colored things around their face, their eyes. If they lick their paws a lot, they can be on their paws. But those tear stains can be very troublesome. So the tear stains themselves are caused by a chemical that comes from metals that are in your dog's saliva and in their tears, right? They're water producing areas. And so because of that chemical or that metal, it causes anything that they lick, if they have it in their saliva, anything that they lick to turn that rust color once it's exposed to air. So some of the things that I've realized after learning that are there are things that were in her diet that I just needed to stop giving her. Things that were in her surroundings we need to be a little bit wiser about, so that those tear stains, that rust color stain on her paws and around her eyes and around her nose wouldn't be as prevalent. So I'm going to break this up into a couple of different parts. The first is going to be around food and drink. The second is going to be around tools and utensils. I'm also going to share with you how you can clean up those tear stains if your dog has them. And I'm going to also recommend a few products that help with that, and then some things to do to prevent this. Now, let me preface this by saying I'm not a veterinarian. I'm not a professional. I'm not a vet. I'm someone that has tried lots of things to get my dog to go from looking like this to this. Okay, so I'm going to share with you some things. So the first thing, let's talk about food and drink. For food, there are things that many dogs are allergic to. Now, one of the reasons I got a Maltese was because I wanted a dog that I could research and knew what to expect with the breed, from the breed, right? The good and the bad and the ugly, right? So one of the things I ran across really early on in my research but didn't think much about is that many Malteses are allergic to poultry. They're allergic to chicken, turkey, even eggs. And so many dog foods have those ingredients in them, the chicken and the turkey anyway. And so I was giving her kibble that had some of that in it. I transitioned over to giving her softer food from one of those mail order, really overpriced places. And then I also started making her food, but I was still making it with chicken or some kind of chicken. Sometimes I'd switch it up to salmon or beef, but it was mostly chicken. And so when I realized, again, that chicken probably wasn't the best for her and I eliminated that, I started seeing results within a month, okay? So chicken byproducts are things that you want to avoid for your Maltese or maybe even your other white dogs if you find that they're prone to being allergic to those. Now, another thing I started doing is started making her food. So I don't feed her chicken. For a while I was feeding her beef, but beef is very calorie dense for such a small dog and she gained weight pretty quickly. So I avoid beef for the most part. Some of her treats may have beef in them, but I primarily give her fish. I primarily give her salmon or steelhead or something like that. But I make her food. And so if you're interested in learning more about the food I make for her, how I make it, and some recipes, or you're just enjoying this content, content, this is where I'm going to pause and say, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up and a like, and by all means, comment and let me know what are some of the things you've tried with your Maltese. So anyway, that's the food. Make sure the diet is clean, like there are no additives. If you do buy their food, make sure there's no additives. Avoid things that have additional preservatives in it. All of those things can build up their toxic load and may likely have some sort of metal residuals to it that might cause them to have that rust-colored reaction to their saliva. Okay, the second thing is water. Now, water seems simple. You may be doing a good job in giving your dog filtered water, which is what I was doing at first. But even filtered and purified water tends to have some sort of metal in them, some sort of naturally derived things that are in the metal based on in the water, based on where the water was drawn from. But you know what doesn't have little to no metal? It's spring water. And so I started giving her spring water. So I buy the plastic bottle, and we keep it cold. And so we have another dog, and he also drinks spring water because I'm pretty sure they share bowls. And so switching from standard filtered water, tap water, which has even more metal in it, to even purified water, spring water is so much better. So I switched to spring water. Now, in addition to the spring water, another thing that has metal that we sometimes don't think about, and I only do this for her water, not necessarily her food, because she eats her food immediately, but are those stainless steel bowls. So I have a stainless steel bowl for her food because she eats it, as soon as it's out there, but the water sits. The water can leach that metal into it. And so one of the things I've done is I've switched from holding her water and our other dog's water in a stainless steel bowl to now having a ceramic bowl. It's a white ceramic bowl. And so between the ceramic bowl change and the spring water, I feel that also contributed to her tear stains clearing up, and as I was clipping away the hair, them not coming back in. And then the last thing I'll say around diet and all of that is these dogs, they're small. They can gain weight really quickly, but they also need a varied diet, right? So because I make her food and it's the same several ingredients, I want to make sure she's getting other nutrients. And also, I read it somewhere that this helps, but fruit, particularly blueberries, apples, and watermelon. There's something in them that help with, them being able to get more minerals and nutrients without having to have the allergic reaction around some other things that they may want or you could give them. So those 3 fruits are the ones that I will give her. I don't give her a lot. She may get a few blueberries if I have some, a small cut up piece of apple. She hears me cutting my apples for my snacks and come running, her and my other dog, but I don't give her a lot, right? Because they have sugar in them, right? Blueberry it may be low glycemic, but it's still sugar. So, but those seem to help as well. So those are the things: the water, the food, the fruit. Now, let's move on to some of the things that we can do to support them, right? If they do have the tear stains. Now, one of the things that I do regularly with my dog, every day, every other day, I have pads, like moistened cleansing pads that I bought from Amazon. I'll be sure to link the ones that I use in the section below. But those moistened pads, I like them because they're moisturized. It's non-irritant ingredients in the pads, and these pads in particular are large. They're wide. I tried some other pads a year or so ago, and they were okay, but they were really small, and I had to use a lot of them, and it wasn't very effective, right? So these are larger in diameter, circumference, and I use these for her for moistening and cleaning up her eye area, and also wiping the bottom of her paws if they need to be wiped. And then in addition to that, once a week, so I clean her eyes daily, and if she has any gunk, I'll use a fine tooth comb to clean the gunk out. But once a week, what I'll do when I'm doing that routine is I will take my rounded end scissors and I will trim away at any brown or kind of crusty looking hairs or anything that's blocking her eye. Because another thing that can cause issues with dogs producing more tears, and if their saliva has metal in it, causing the tear stains, is if they have like clogged tear ducts in their eye, or they have things like irritating their eyes, like hair irritating their eyes and causing their eyes to water more. So because of that, I also make sure I trim the hair around her eyes at least once a week. And then I also bathe her once a week, once every week and a half. I don't bathe her too often, but I bathe her at least, every other week or so. And so with that, those are the things I would suggest in trying to support your dog and get those things in her, like on her body and in her environment that might irritate her, to get those out of her environment, so she's not as irritated and not as likely to tear up or develop tear stains. And so what I would say is, if your dog has really, really, really bad tear stains, before you even take any of this advice, see your vet. I know that there are some things that they might be able to prescribe, things that you can add to her water. I would suggest going to a vet and seeing if there's something else that might be causing the excessive tear staining. If there's not, then try some of the tips I shared with you. Like I said, they worked for me. They worked for my baby Chanel. She is so cute. She was cute even when she had the tear stains, quite honestly, but not having them just makes her so much cuter. And so I'm gonna click over to an example of me cleaning her face and doing that like every other day routine I do for her. And yeah, hopefully seeing it done is going to be helpful for you. Feel free to drop in the comments if you have questions around the routine. Super informal. It's something I normally do at the end of the day. It's sort of our like little cuddle time. She starts out really good. You'll see I give her lots of treats because that's what she needs to stay motivated to stay, especially when she sees the body cologne come out. But it is something that when she sees the bag, she doesn't run. Like, she knows, okay, I'm going to get some treats out of this. Let me stick around and see what happens. You'll see that she doesn't like getting her teeth brushed. She likes the taste of the toothpaste though. So if I can get at least 2 or 3 of her teeth brushed or touched during a session, I'm happy. But overall, it is a routine that we've been doing for the last 2 or so years. It's something that helps me to keep her hair out of her face and keep her top not looking cute. But it's also something that allows me to make sure that she's supported and she's not around here looking homeless because I neglected to clip away the hairs and do some of the other things for her. So I'm going to insert the video now. Once again, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe, like, share. There's not a lot of stuff out there around how to care for these small little doggies, and they're so special, but they also require a certain amount of attention and care. And so if you know someone that has a dog, a Maltese, or even a white dog that may suffer from tear stains, be sure to share this with them. But yeah, subscribe, and I'm going to be sharing some more content soon, and I look forward to chatting it up with you guys down in the comments. Take care. Bye, Chanelly. Say bye, Chanelly. Chanel, you gonna say bye? Maybe. All right. Bye, guys.